If you improve your impact, your scores will come down. It really is that simple. And in this video, I'm going to show you how these two quite simple looking drills can help you work on this part of your swing. So as a golf coach, we understand that if you don't change a golfer's impact, you don't change the ball flight and you don't improve the game. So we really have to change that part of the golf swing in a positive way if we're looking to play the game better and lower those scores. And that's what we're going to do today. So the lesson plan is to run through the two little exercises, the two drills we're going to get you to do, explain how to perform them. And then we're going to really look at why they're important and what you should be learning from those drills and how you can then apply it to your full swing. So let's go ahead straight into these little drills. You're going to take a normal hold on the golf club with a relatively narrow stance, and then you're going to take your lead hand off, your glove hand off, and just pop it behind your back. And then from here, the goal is to hit a shot which flies somewhere around about 20 yards and relatively low with a held finish. So it should look something a little bit like this. Now obviously, my net's in the way, so we don't know how far that went, but that would have gone about 20 yards. It would have been a fairly low ball flight. And we're going to do the same little exercise. Take my address, but this time I'm going to take my trail hand off again, pop that behind my back, and I'm going to try and hit the same type of shot with the same sort of ball flight. That hit slightly lower in the net, but it still felt pretty good off the face, and the flight would have been fairly similar, if not a little bit lower. Now, with any luck, I've hopefully made those two little shots look relatively simple. It's going to be incredibly hard for many of you, because many of you, if you videoed your golf swing, you will see things like this standard impact where the handle is back, the elbow is back, the club is overtaking the hands. And then when we look at, just a couple of feet past impact, we see the elbow separating, the club has almost been pulled into the body, and it just looks very uncomfortable and very cramped. And what you can see on those little demonstrations there with the drills is that the impact is very solid and the end position is nicely structured with some extension and some width. So what we're really looking at doing here is we're looking at sort of saying, well, what does your right side and right arm do? And what does your left side and your left arm do? And we're really trying to control both those elements. So let's go ahead and just look at that first one, which was the trail hand. So what we're really looking for you to do is to try and get your arm in what we call an externally rotated position at impact. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to take a starting position here with your hand looking at the target, and you're going to try and take the back of the elbow and point it away from the target. This would be what we tend to see from the poor golfers. This is what we call an internally rotated arm. Put the golf club in there and you're going to get some pretty uncomfortable looks. You take that same position, and this time we're going to try and get the back of the elbow to point more towards my belt buckle, and what we do is we start to see a very different looking trail arm. The elbow moves more towards the center line of my body. Now you'll also notice that tends to have an effect on opening the club face, so I have to adjust that with my hand. And what we're also looking to do is have the handle forwards, which again is achieved by getting that elbow more in front of my body. Now if I can do that and I can achieve this kind of look to my trail arm and my trail wrist, it's really a case of then using my pivot to maintain that on the way through. And you can see that I've maintained the angle in my trail wrist, and I'm still keeping that rotation that I had in my trail arm that we saw at the setup. What will you often find if you struggle with impact? Well, you will often find that you don't particularly strike the ball well, but you might find that your end positions start to look a little bit more like this, where the arm has tended to separate a little bit away from the body and the club face is pointing down. It doesn't look as connected. So if you feel that you're struggling with this, you can make this a little bit more, you can give yourself a little bit more awareness by placing a T under your arm. And then the idea is, with that little one arm shot, we're looking to squeeze that T. And there's my end position with that arm in that externally rotated position, a little bit of bend in the wrist, nice rotation, nice pivot, and the strike feels really good. So let's look at the left hand, or the left arm, I should say. So what are we looking to do with that one? Well, again, we're looking to take our normal little setup, grip is as normal, and some of you will have a little bit of shaft lean at the start, that's absolutely fine. We're looking to make a little backswing, increase that shaft lean, keep some connection between the upper arm and the body, and again, use the pivot to control that structure. This would be what we would class as an extended lead arm. But what I have got is I have got my lead shoulder in a neutral position. That is absolutely key. What we wouldn't want a golfer to try and do from here is try and get more width between the body and the club head and have this kind of look to their follow through, where my shoulder is now not in its normal position and we've lost a lot of connection in there. That club is further away from me, but that's done in the incorrect way. So again, little T under your arm can really help. I'm trying to squeeze that T as I increase the shaft lean and use my pivot. And again, there's my nice strike, there's my end position, and there's that connection between the two. Now, it may well be that you perform these drills and you find that one side is easier to do than the other. It may well be that your trail side is pretty good, your lead side is not so good, and it might actually throw up a few findings about your golf swing and what you actually do through impact. Once I've done a few of those, I can start to get the right feels, and that might take a few of you, for a while to get these strikes pretty consistent. Once you can, you're just going to place both hands on. You're going to do the same sort of thing, but you're going to feel how the left and the right side work together to achieve these really solid strikes with those nice end positions, those checkpoints that we've mentioned before. Some golfers often ask me, do we feel more in the left, do we feel more in the right? And that's just a question we can't really answer because they're both playing a part. Now, if someone's lead arm works fantastically well, they may have to focus more on their trail arm. But if your trail arm works well and your lead arm doesn't, you're going to be focusing more on your lead arm. So it really is quite personal for the individual golfer. And these exercises might help you with kind of where you need to put your attention and your focus. So, little one-arm drills. You've got to change your trail arm. It's got to go from this position and it has to move more into this position. And that's difficult, but if we can start to train these little shots over this short distance, it's a great way to start to train your body for impact and how it should start to move through the golf ball and how the arm should start to react as well. So I've probably hit a good 6 or 7 shots there, and each one of those was a pretty good strike. There was one that was slightly towards the bottom of the golf club. That's pretty good. The speed was low, the swings were short, and that's exactly how you need to do it. You can obviously scale up from there, put both hands on, add a bit of speed, but one arm drills, working on your strike and your structure, really, really good for your game, and especially if you're still in lockdown like I am here in the UK, it's a great thing that you can do in your back garden because you don't need a lot of space. Thanks for watching. Really hope that helps your impact, helps you understand your impact a little bit more. And as we said at the start, if you can improve your impact, you can improve your golf game. Thanks for watching. We will see you back here again soon. Usual stuff is down below. Would love to hear your thoughts. Noisy playing. Love to hear your thoughts on the video. Comment below, give it a like, and also give it a subscribe. It is absolutely free. And I think these videos can really help you play some better golf. Thanks for watching.